Welcome to Gunners Are Us, where we are positively Arsenal.
And that we are.
Woo!
And that we are.
Woo!
For the last time, that we are.
What do you mean last time?
Well, for the season.
Well, yeah.
And we're going to be positively England during the Euros and positively the guy who does transfers on Sky Sports. I don't think he does any more. Jim, is it?
Yeah.
We're positively transfer market, I'll say that.
Positively football in general.
Positively football, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Because I'm having a dilemma at the minute of whether to change the name from Gunners Are Us to Positively Arsenal or to Positively Football to make it more broad, or to have two. And we have a Positively Football and a Positively Arsenal as a brand is Positively. And you kind of have the Arsenal one for the Arsenal fans and then the football one for just general fans.
I'm not opposed to it just being a general football podcast, and they just are aware that we're Arsenal fans.
Yeah, like Pitchside is like that.
Yeah.
There's two Arsenal fans and a Newcastle fan and a Derby or West Brom, someone like West Brom, I think.
And I would say we wouldn't go too hard on Arsenal. We're quite, what's the word? Impartial.
I am.
As far
That's what I'm saying.
as far as Arsenal fans go, though.
Well, this year we when we started this podcast, because again we're kind of saying all this because today is the last episode of the season.
Oh,
this is the review of the season. I think next week we'll probably do a deeper review of maybe the season. Maybe I'll see what happens in the week because it could be a crazy week for transfers. Which I think, saying that, I don't think the transfer market opens till June 1st.
No.
But something could happen this week, as in last night, the England provisional squads got dropped. So we'll get into a little bit of that at the end, which is not on my list. But we kind of got to get into that because it's fresh. It's fresh in
football is the gift that keeps on giving.
Yes. So,
and I'm not wearing an Arsenal shirt for the first time.
Yeah, well,
there's a lot of firsts today. I've got no Arsenal shirt on. There's no intro planned.
Well, we got outro.
Outro, I mean. There's no outro planned because there's no upcoming Arsenal games.
Well, it's because it's over.
Yeah, and look, I'm wearing my holiday shirt. We're on holiday now.
It's postseason now.
We can breathe.
It's postseason, bitches. I don't know if anyone enjoyed that. Anyway, so we kind of got to get through a lot of things. So if we break this down into two halves with a very small slither in the middle, a little sandwich, as they would say, because I want to kind of talk about the last day, what happened, how we got on, because there's not much to talk about in the game necessarily, because it's all said and done now. We'll talk a little bit about Man City and their kind of 4 in a row, maybe a little bit about the Chargers, and then I wanted to do a little bit of Arsenal awards.
Okay,
for us,
I like that.
Then prediction league. I got to tell you how this ended.
Oh,
the finale. Then I want to do a little Premier League review, where we do maybe a little chat on the relegated teams, the top 4, the top 6, best players, best moments, these kind of things.
Yeah.
And then a little bit on England at the end as well before the outro.
Cool.
Also, we wrote down what we thought the top 8 would be in December. And again, some of this is very wrong, some of it's very right.
Oh.
But what I'll say is, in December, Liverpool were very much ahead of everyone.
Yeah.
And Arsenal were in that thing where we had like 90 shots and scored 1 goal in 4 games or something.
Yeah.
Not going well. And Man United were doing quite well. And I think Chelsea were close to the relegation zone around that time, or like 16th, 15th. So keep that in mind when we announce that. So
I'm trying not to look at that page just so I can be surprised.
Bit of excitement at the end. So we start with the last day. The Emirates, Everton. Man City played West Ham. I'll say this. We talked about it all year that all we really wanted was that title race to go to the last day.
Yeah.
And it's easy to say because it's hard. It's so hard because Man City is so different to any other team. Like if you said to any other person in the world, your team's going to go to the end with Arsenal or Liverpool, and you're going to be 2 points behind, but if they draw and you win, you could win it. Everyone would feel like they've kind of almost got like a 30-40% chance.
Yeah, you're in it.
But with Man City, I think everyone kind of felt it going in. There was a 1-2% chance.
I pretty much went in with no expectations of Arsenal winning the league that day, but I did allow a little bit of hope to creep in.
You have to.
Just because you got in, we might not ever be in that position again. So
exactly. I don't think you can be a football fan if you don't you don't believe a little bit. I think you have to believe. And you never know. And it's a weird one because in hindsight, I think it was actually it could have gone a lot more to Arsenal's plan with just a little tweak. So the jokes going in were could Arsenal do it? And then it would be like Haaland, 5 minutes. That was the gag.
Yeah.
It ended up being 1 minute. And Foden. It was actually 1 minute 15, which is 115, which is odd.
And that's what you expect from the player of the season as well, Phil Foden.
Phil Foden, yeah. And he kind of, I've seen a lot of people disagree with the player of the season being Phil Foden. And we'll get to this a bit more later when we talk about the Premier League review. But I think he has had a very good season. He's led his team to what will potentially be a double. And he's been the talisman because De Bruyne was out half a season. Haaland was out a third of a season.
Yeah.
He was there.
I think I said like last season or maybe the season before that Phil Foden is about, other than like a Saka, Phil Foden's about the only player that I can imagine from England getting a Ballon d'Or anytime soon.
Yeah, and the fact that he's not in those conversations yet is mad. Like, when you think of last year when they won the treble, why didn't him or Bernardo or Haaland? Instead, it was Messi. The Ballon d'Or is so messed up.
Yeah.
And they're talking about this year being Vinicius, which I get because they've won the La Liga. They're probably going to win the Champions League, maybe. That would make sense. But I don't think, having watched them, that Vinicius is necessarily the pick of the bunch. I think Bellingham has.
Yeah.
He's had a massive drop-off in 2024, Bellingham. He's not scoring the goals or assisting. He's not really influencing games. But I mean, he's still also won the league, and he's in the Champions League final.
Yeah.
And he's against his former team in his homeland.
Yeah.
Which is a very storybooky type thing.
That guy is a storybook waiting to happen.
Yeah. But yeah, getting back to the last day, the scenes outside the Emirates were fantastic. The scenes outside of Anfield for Klopp were fantastic.
Yeah.
Scenes outside Man City look like a fun fair. And again, we'll talk about this when we talk about Man City a little bit. It's almost embarrassing at this point. The fact that the team that are this dominant, and we've never seen this before in the Premier League, are that embarrassing as far as a fan base goes.
All of it. I feel like it culminated this season because, like last season, I mean, there was the jokes around.
I think when you win a treble, I think people can kind of like push off a lot of thoughts because you're like, wow.
When it felt like the vibe was different. It felt like the vibe was like, okay, cool, yeah, they are probably the best team in the world. Whereas this year, I saw an Instagram post earlier that said something like, Man City won the league, but Arsenal won all of our hearts.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people are saying with these charges impending that maybe we should have whoever comes second gets a trophy just in case they have to remove all these, which is so embarrassing for the Premier League that that's even a conversation that people are having. But it also does feel a little bit like, when you're a kid and there's someone who's really good, everyone's like, well, maybe, we should, in amongst ourselves, make our champion.
Yeah.
Because he's too good.
You got to make a secondary title.
Because whether they've cheated or not, they're very good. And they're hard to beat.
Well, regardless of the cheating as well. Like, I mean, the charges don't relate to this specific team, the one that won the treble and the one that won the league this season. Albeit they had to use those potential charges to get to this point. But what that group of players and what Pep does as a manager, you can't fault that. Like, that's nothing to do with the charges. Like, they're still, and the fans, like, you can't recreate history or like a deep rooted fan base. But what they're doing as a team, as a whole, you have to applaud it because they are very good. Yeah,
they're very good. And like you said, the 115 charges are looming and there's an asterisk with them. And again, for Man City fans and for everyone, I think they have to get this sorted very soon.
Yeah. Because
you can't keep watching football knowing there's a team that are going to win it. And it's not just fairly winning it, potentially. It takes the fun out of everything, really.
Well, it's all feeling more watered down as well at this point.
Yeah, it's like, for example, Arsenal are on an upward trajectory. The only team that should stop them next year, if we all look at it like kind of unbiasedly, is Man City.
Yeah.
But we all kind of expect Man City to win it for a fifth time in a row.
Yeah.
But again, if they don't sort this, we all know that these titles might mean nothing.
Yeah.
Because they've cheated to get there. So therefore, Arsenal at the end of next year might challenge again, might come second. And then Arteta leaves, a couple of players leave, and we go back to the bottom. But City then get charged, and it's just perfect timing for Liverpool or Man United or Chelsea or Newcastle.
Yeah.
To then jump in and be like, do you know what? Now's our time.
And we were the unlucky team.
And we were the team that, like Klopp's Liverpool, they managed to get one out of them, one title. But I mean, essentially, that's the reason Klopp's essentially retired.
Yeah.
He's knackered.
Yeah.
He's sick of fighting. It's like Ivan Drago and Rocky. Like he's just fought with an immovable force that was actively cheating.
Yeah.
And he was just he's tired.
And that's a shame for that Klopp's Liverpool. I just want to shout out to that era of Klopp's Liverpool. Even as an Arsenal fan, that what he did with that Liverpool team was so much fun. I enjoyed it from a neutral standpoint, not a Liverpool fan. I enjoyed everything he did there. Like, I've not enjoyed an era of a team that's a rival as well.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah.
Like that was a lot of fun. He produced a lot of memories and did some great stuff.
Yeah, and again, he was up against this City team, and that's why I think the 115 charges have got to be sorted, because even if a City fan, I know they're going to milk it and be like, "Oh, we're the best, we're the best." It doesn't matter about the charges, but deep down, they're going to feel that feeling of, I don't want to win a 5 in a row next year and have the conversations and blah blah.
Yeah.
They just want it sorted so they can just get on with whatever is going to happen. Because if they're going to get demoted to a league, if they're going to get deducted points, whatever it is, they'd rather just get on with it and then work their way back up and then be able to actually do all this again.
Yeah.
But without the looming cloud that has kind of followed them with these charges.
Well, I feel bad for the hardcore Man City fans, the ones that have followed Man City mainly their whole lives.
Yeah.
To this point, who are probably enjoying all of this, but they're also questioning it. Like, are we supposed to be enjoying this? Like, is this going to get taken away very quickly?
I feel bad for them, and I feel bad for every fan, because there's been a butterfly effect to all of this. The Athletic have put out an article this week that essentially the government are involved with it because they don't want to ruin their kind of business with Qatar, with Dubai, with Saudi Arabia over these charges. But I mean, if that's the case, then we're just lost, because even one of two things are going to happen. They're going to charge City and they're going to upset their state-owned backing.
Yeah.
Or the Premier League is going to lose complete, what's the word? Like integrity, because Everton and Forest have been charged. Leicester are about to be charged. Just because they're not state-owned doesn't mean you can pick off the small boys and then those guys, we'll keep them away. It doesn't work like that, because that's not fair. And I guess the Premier League is probably in their head thinking, no, the thing that gives me cause for positive is the Premier League have charged 2 teams.
Yep.
Which means they're definitely intending to charge City. They just need to get around to getting it all in place and correct.
Yeah, it's quite a big case. Like, they've really got to sift through a lot.
Yeah, everyone said how quick the Everton one happened. It did, but it was also back 2 years. The charges came from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it did happen quick once they decided, but that was based on, it was quick once the hearing happened. City's hearing's in October this year.
Yeah.
Supposedly. So we're not going to get anything until minimum there anyway, which is going to be mid-season, which means next year could be an absolute mess if they do decide we're going to start charging you for these charges as they get charged.
Yeah.
And that could happen over 3 years, which means the City are constant, which I kind of like for a team that's cheated. I love the idea of them not knowing what they're doing. And, think how demoralizing it would be if you get demoted like 10 points or deducted 10 points. And then 2 weeks later, you kind of win 3 in a row.
Yeah.
And you're like 1 point short of getting back out of that hole, and they go 4 points for this one. And then 15 points for this one. And every time you win a game, you just can't win.
They're in a losing battle.
And then you probably get relegated because of that.
Yeah.
But then the following year, every week they're getting new charges, and they're now doing that. And that I kind of like, as opposed to just dropping them down. I like the idea of them having to not know whether to poop or wind their watch, that kind of thing. The talk this week seems to be that the stripping of titles, things like that, is off the table.
Yeah.
But the demotion to the National League is definitely not off the table.
Yeah.
Which is mad, because there's 2 sides to the thought, isn't it? The idea of this giant team that are winning 4 in a row are going to get demoted to the National League.
Yeah.
That seems crazy.
That's unheard of.
And think of the chain of reaction there is more teams need to be promoted each. So if they are going to do that, they can't do that mid-season, obviously. Yeah. That ruins everything, fixtures and all sorts. They have to do that at the end of next season, which would mean that next year they're going to probably win the league.
Yeah.
And then Pep's going to leave. They're going to get demoted to the National League. And then we probably won't hear of Man City for 5-6 years.
Yeah.
And that seems so extreme.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like we were talking about, the butterfly effect of what they did, if you mess your books up, they literally, we've said this all year, but they're doing what Newcastle aren't allowed to do now.
Yep.
They messed their books up. There's proof of it in emails that they were moving money around to basically see if they could sign more players or spend on more on wages. if they don't do that, they don't get the first set of players. They don't get the second set of players. They don't win the league. Therefore, they don't attract bigger players. They don't give them big wages. This butterfly effect, even if it didn't come into effect of winning titles and trebles until 10, 15 years later, it's all an effect of what they started. And again, they haven't got any charges post 2018.
Yep.
But post 2018 is, essentially the Pep era.
Yeah.
Pep was there from 2017, 16. But they've benefited from it.
Yeah.
They weren't allowed to go buy. They wouldn't have been able to buy a Haaland if they'd done this all correctly, because it would have taken a lot longer to get to the level where you could afford that type of player. These things don't happen, therefore the treble doesn't happen. So the idea of not stripping the title seems mad. But at the same time, when you think about titles, we think of the players, but realistically, the titles and trophies are for the fans.
It's that final moment where you get to watch the ceremony.
Yeah. It's the experience of the parades and the moment you win the title, the communion of the fans meeting up and kind of having a party. Plus, then you get to brag. So, for example, Arsenal, when big teams come into our ground, or even Nottingham Forest and Villa, they say, "Where's your European trophy?" to us, because we don't have one. That's how fans kind of get at each other. So you kind of show off your little bits.
And the fact that we can hold on to that little gold Premier League trophy.
We say ours is gold, yours isn't. Liverpool and Man United will say, "I've got 20 titles, you haven't," or whatever it is. City will say, "We've won the treble, which is better than Man United's treble. We've won 4 in a row. That's history makers with Centurions." All these things are the things we hang over the other teams. If tomorrow there was a court hearing and they completely stripped them of everything from 2012 to now, those fans are still going to say, "We've won the treble. We're European champs." Whether you remove them or not, they will live on forever with the fans. And we'll all accept it as that. The only thing we would do is, as fans, is when they say we're European trophies, we would just shout cheats at them. But again, this is all kind of fairy tale in the pie in the sky thing, because it's just fans vocaling it at stadiums. So realistically, it's not that real, even though all they're doing is trying to win these things. The fans will forever think they won 4 in a row. They'll forever believe they're the Centurions, because they did do those things.
Yeah, and not just that, those teams that achieved all those accolades had to put the work in still. Like, regardless of what was going on behind the scenes, during that season, they had to win a certain amount of games, get a certain amount of points, knock teams out of tournaments. It's like...
But the thing is, it's so much easier when you're sports washing.
Oh, it's way easier. It makes it 10 times easier. But those players still had to do it. Like,
you put it like a bodybuilder. People would say, "Oh, he's on steroids." But I mean, steroids are nothing if you're not having the 6 meals of perfectly balanced food that is weighed out and all these things, and you're getting the maximum results.
Yeah, it's not a magic formula that works instantly.
No, but it speeds up the process aggressively.
Yeah.
And there's repercussions to those things, like steroids, and we just want to make sure there is the repercussions, because, like I said, the stripping the titles, I think, doesn't make any sense. You can do, but it's not going to. It's just okay, they're now stripped. The fans are still going to be like, "We're the European champions of the world." It doesn't change anything. But what would change things, in my opinion, I've said it all season, is I think they should be demoted to the National League. I think is the punishment.
Yeah.
But if they're going to do that, they need to not let them get away with another year without something.
Yeah.
So I think if the court hearing happens next year, I think it should be an immediate point deduction plus demotion at the end of the year.
Yeah. They should have to start again.
Yeah. The question is, do they do a 100-point deduction mid-season? So put some rock bottom, they cannot get out of it. But when they get demoted, they don't get demoted to the Championship, they get demoted to the National League.
Yeah.
But that would essentially, I think you're looking at trouble, because you're looking at crowd trouble. Because if you're turning up to watch Man City, and you're minus 75 points at the bottom of the league, and when you get relegated, you're not getting relegated to the Championship, you're getting relegated to the National League, you're going to riot, because those fans that turn up every week are going to be like, "Oh, I've got to sit through 5 more years before we're back here." And that's if we're lucky, because by the way, those divisions are hard.
Yeah.
I know Wrexham have done well so far, but once you get to League One and Championship, they're horrible leagues to get out of, especially without Pep, without Haaland, without De Bruyne, without Foden, probably.
And if you're Man City, finding the motivation to keep going from underneath.
It's a whole rebuild.
And there's a whole portion of those Man City fans that are probably younger that only know this Man City.
Yeah.
So the minute that happens, they're not going to turn up.
Yeah.
They'll move on to a different team.
I think, for me, the National League thing, it's so hard, because the minute I say it, I think that seems too aggressive. But then when you actually think about the chain of events that has occurred through cheating,
Yeah.
actively trying to cheat, feels horrific.
Yeah.
But I just think of the fans who have done nothing wrong. And as much as we joke, City don't have fans, blah, 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 they've sat and watched their team. They're so excited, and then they're going to be demoted. And again, no one worried about Rangers when they got demoted. No one worried about Juventus.
Yeah.
These things do happen to big teams. But to me, I think a 25-point deduction immediately, plus starting next year with it, or like maybe you say over the next 3 years, you start with 25-point deduction. Therefore, the 25-point deduction next year could easily cause them to be relegated.
Yeah.
But it might not. But they would be just surviving, which would almost guarantee they're not going to make Europe over 3 years, and also do a transfer ban for 3 years. So if you did 25-point deduction at the start of each season for the next 3 years and 3 transfer bans, what would happen is they would, let's say, just stay safe, but then all their players will leave because there's no Europe. Then they can't replace them. They have to use youth, which means they're more likely to not be able to get out of the 25-point hole. Then you might get relegated to championship. Then you're in the championship with a 24-point hole with your youth team, which means there's a genuine chance they get demoted again. And it kind of, that I think is the easiest way of doing it. And it's the easiest way of not affecting fixtures and teams coming up, because it gives them a genuine chance to survive, also a genuine chance to be demoted.
Yeah.
But they need repercussions. And the repercussions, in my opinion, are transfer bans, because the minute you're not allowed to recover, because they can make a lot of money, by the way, which means they can sell a lot, because they get relegated, they could sell Haaland, De Bruyne, and Foden. There's 400-500 million.
Yeah,
that means they can spend that money because of financial fair play.
Yeah,
but they can't yet, which would mean if you do that, the books are based on your last year books. So by the time that they can buy top players, they might not have actually sold any money.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
Yeah,
because you sell De Bruyne first year, you sell Foden and Haaland second year. By third year, you're in now midway in the championship. You sell them all, and then there's no one to sell.
Yeah,
you're using youth team. So next year, you're like, oh, we're back in the Premier League. Who are we going to buy? Oh, our books say we can only spend 3 million.
Yeah.
Therefore, they're in a genuine situation where they have to genuinely rebuild, but without putting them in the National League where they're just going to smash teams every week.
It does. It starts them from scratch, from where they were before. They use dodgy methods, apparently, to get where they are now. If you strip it all back and make them start all over again to where they should have been in the first place, that is the only punishment that fits, I think.
Yeah. And it is, it's hard because obviously, as an Arsenal fan, it's easy to look at us and be like, oh, look at you talking about the charges because you've had to deal with it. And Liverpool fans are probably sat there going, we've had to deal with this every year.
Yeah.
And they get dodgy decisions, say, every single year near the end of the year. And what have Liverpool fans done? They've complained a little bit, but just gone, oh, we'll go again. And
that's all you can do.
But we're also hitting a climax. It just so happens that Arsenal are in that ascendancy.
Yeah.
But we're actually hitting the climax where they were about to get charged. So it's getting more frustrating, and they've just won 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Having known for 4 years that they've been cheating. It's getting very hard to understand why you would watch the Premier League.
Yeah.
When, like next year, guess what? The 3 teams that come up are going to go down.
Yeah.
Now Man City are going to win the league.
Yeah.
That's easier to take if you know they're not cheating.
Yeah.
If they're just a really good team, then it's like, we need to all stop them. We need to all combine like the Avengers. And every week, we need to go out there and try and get a scalp out of Man City, because that is genuinely, my opinion, what has happened this last few years. And we've spoken about this off mic. My issue is obviously they've cheated, and they have the best players, the best manager, the biggest agent fees, the biggest wages. That's hard enough. But on top of all that, I think now what's happening is teams are actively going to City or home to City, playing City, and going, don't lose, but they're going, it doesn't matter if we lose because next week we need to be ready to go against Fulham.
Yeah.
For example.
Accept the loss that week, yeah.
And that's totally acceptable, because if you're in a relegation battle and you're playing Man City and then Fulham the next week, as a manager, I would say, let's rotate.
Yeah.
If we get banged 9-0, that's fine. Next week we have to beat Fulham because we're less like, you don't want to put 100% effort into Man City, lose 1-0, and then lose to Fulham as well because you put too much effort.
Yeah.
So I understand why managers do it, but it's happening more than ever because it's happening up the division. For example, Aston Villa came 4th this year, incredible year. About a month ago, they put out their second team against Man City, got absolutely smashed. 3 days later, they played in the Europa League. 3 days later, they played Arsenal, and they put out the best team. They beat us.
Yeah.
The difference between us winning the league or not was those 2 points. Again, that is Villa's prerogative to do that. But what I mean is they've almost destroyed teams where they've gone, why would, Villa have looked at it and gone, we're not going to beat City, so why waste our energy? We want to worry about our Europa Conference League.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But then they went full strength in the league the week after, which again they're also trying to get top 4. None of this doesn't make sense. But what's happening is this is happening across the league. When you look along the whole year, teams almost go, all right, it's a given we're going to lose that one. Go out there, maybe we'll win, but who cares? But next week we have to win. Arsenal are actually getting to that point, I think, where we're getting the worst of teams.
Yeah.
Some weeks. But this year there was a couple, like West Ham came to Emirates and played. There's teams like that. But it's getting worse because I think growing up, when you watch Man United, everyone wanted to scout Man United. Everyone wanted that big victory against Man United. Where are these Stokes that would go and just, anyone that would go to Stoke would have a bad day.
Yeah.
You might not win, you might not lose, but you would have a bad day.
Yeah.
Those don't exist anymore because every team, and again, this also coincides with that, every team is a little Pep.
Yeah.
Every team is playing out from the, Wolves, Fulham, Bournemouth, Brighton. Everyone's playing out from the back.
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to hold the ball against the best teams that do that.
Yeah.
So those exciting, roughneck, mid-table, horrible to go to their ground teams don't exist.
Yeah.
So it's kind of all playing into Man City's hands. And also, by the way, mini Pep in Arteta, it's playing into his hands as well.
Yeah.
Hence why the rise of Arsenal, I think, is also happening.
Yeah, hopefully we get a little bit of rub of this.
Yeah, the benefit is obviously if you get rid of Pep, get rid of Man City, maybe this is all, maybe Arsenal win 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Which is a very nice thought for an Arsenal fan because we haven't cheated.
No.
That we know of. Which would be horrible. But getting back to the, because 115 charges was on here.
Yeah.
But the last day, I just wanted to say the wind was knocked out of us after a minute. But even at 1-0, you think all we need is a draw. If that stays a goal, a late goal, anything like that. But Arsenal, you could see were affected, I think, early.
Yeah.
And another thing I noticed was they switched us around. Deitch turned us around.
Yeah.
He had us facing left.
Yep.
Away from the North Bank first half, which I don't remember genuinely the last time I watched Arsenal where we shot away from the North Bank first half.
That's rare.
I don't think I can't even think of a game where that's happened. He switched around. Seen a stat of the 18 away games or 19 away games that Deitch played this year. He turned around 12 teams.
Wow.
So he's used it as a tactic. And when I saw it, I was like, that's genius because it is. They practice. They're so used to one thing.
Yeah.
That minimal change, as silly as it is, will affect them because
you were talking about that gritty team like Stoke.
That's
Dyche is that manager. When he was at Burnley were that club.
Yeah.
Now he's at Everton. He's turned Everton into a dangerous little team. Like, I think a team that can really cause problems.
Now they're away from the deductions. I mean, without the deductions, they're 11th in the league.
Yeah.
And I mean,
and their defense is unreal.
It's the 4th in the league. It's the best defense outside the top 4. And that's what you want. That's what you would need teams. And again, they were home to Liverpool. They derailed Liverpool. That was the reason Liverpool weren't in the title race.
Yeah.
They are that team, but there's not enough of them anymore. There used to be 5 or 6. Now there's the 1.
Yeah. Because even the awkward bogey teams, you'd expect it from, like Brighton.
Brighton and Brentford last couple of years started to become it, but they've dropped.
Palace are becoming it.
Palace very much.
Palace are dangerous. Palace and Everton, dangerous.
Yeah, so he switched us around. You could see it was a little bit, there was missing Saka. We had Martinelli on the right for the first time. It was an amazing atmosphere, but instantly after a minute, you just felt the crowd just drop of, oh no, there is actually no hope. And then what happened was they scored again.
Yeah. After
about 15 minutes. And you just thought, okay. And in my head, it was like, all right, just enjoy the day then.
And we were struggling to score at this point.
Yeah, we were struggling. We got in a couple of times. Tomiyasu missed a couple of sitters, things like that. Then they get a free kick. And again, we'll talk about the handball at the end. But this free kick, I mean, they moved it forward 10 yards to make it even shootable. We probably won't talk about that, but I mean, they did. And there's pictures out there. You can see it. Which massively changes the game. Rice, I think, is at fault here because I think he jumps across the wall.
Yeah,
to try. He's
almost too hard.
He's trying too hard, and he puts it in the far end, which puts Idrissa Gana Gueye as a higher goal scorer this season than Jesus, which is a conversation we'll have in a bit.
Yeah.
So they go 1-0 up. And then what happens is we respond very quickly.
Yeah.
With Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu gets cut back. He pulls it in, really nice finish.
He had a couple of these beforehand as well. They kept setting this up and he didn't quite get it away. And then on that third attempt, he got it. So it was there. It was an option.
Yeah. what then followed was the excitement of a goal, which brought us level, which, by the way, was not ideal because we should be leading this match.
Yeah.
Brought us level. Then West Ham's Kudo scored an unbelievable overhead kick.
Yeah.
Then maybe a minute later, fake word of 2-2 goes around the stadium. And we've got Sky Bet on in the home, so we know there's no goal.
Yeah.
But we're like, what? And but the dopamine rush I got from scoring, then West Ham scoring, then what we thought was West Ham scoring again was very good.
I've never seen an atmosphere and an energy come out of a game like it did when that was all happening.
Yeah, and I can't believe that happens in the modern day with Google and that. But I was listening to Arscast and they were talking about it. And Andrew was sat near Giroud in the crowd with his kids.
Oh, yeah.
And he said he was looking down at him when everyone was cheering because he was like, I'm not going to cheer until I know.
Yeah.
And he said, but everyone's phones weren't working because the signal, because the amount of people trying to use the phone.
Yeah.
So he looked at Giroud, who had he was like, I assumed he had some really good bit of kit that I didn't have.
Like some sort of satellite phone or something. Yeah.
Which he didn't. But he looked at me and he just kept doing 2-1 with his hands. Like, it's still 2-1.
Yeah.
But James from Gunnerblog said he was in the press box and they had all the games on.
Okay.
So they knew nothing would happen.
Yeah.
But it was just one of those things. But the dopamine was amazing.
Oh.
And
even before the ghost equalizer that West Ham scored, the energy levels when we'd scored, then West Ham had scored because we didn't expect West Ham to get any goals that day. That energy level was still there as well. Like that was a fun moment. And that is what you enjoy the last day for. Is that little roller coaster. But unfortunately, that was the roller coaster we got.
But when you actually look back at it, at half time, I felt like the game was done. Like from minute one, I did. But then looking back now in hindsight, at half time, we were drawing, which you would hope we'd go on to win, which we did. City were 1 goal away from drawing that game. We assumed they were going to win 5 or 6-0.
Oh, half time I had you get that little 15-minute break. It was like a 15-minute of, okay, we're still in this.
Yeah,
cool.
Bizarrely, we're actually just there.
Yeah.
10 minutes into the second half, Rodri scores a weak goal.
Yeah.
Such a poor goalie. And that kind of ends it.
Yeah.
But the nervousness I felt before Rodri scored was genuinely, if I had to be completely candid, I almost wanted City to score.
Yeah.
Because I was like, we're not going to score.
Yeah.
And I don't think I could live with the fact that we draw and they draw.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's the worst.
Or we lose. And at that point, the game was becoming very open.
Yeah.
And Everton were nearly scoring, and then we were nearly scoring. And I was like, if they score, if West Ham equalise, and then we go 2-1 down and we have to score 2, and I knew against Everton's defence that we're not going to score 3 or 4 goals. I was like, that's actually the season done, and it's our own fault.
That's the only issue.
And I was like, in my head, I was like, oh my God, either we need to score very quickly and I can enjoy this again. Because again, if we scored 2-1 where Rodri does and it stays 2-1 in both games, that would be an exciting finish. And we were that close to it.
Yeah.
But then Rodri scores, I get a big sigh of just, I don't have to panic as much.
Yeah.
And then you could see Everton start to drop. They started to get deeper and deeper, and you thought, goal had to come. But you didn't really know where it was coming. Gunnerblog, James from Gunnerblog, actually brought up a good point. He said the team was almost unrecognizable by the end.
Yeah.
Because when you I'm going to read out the team that we were kind of looking for the goal with.
Yeah.
We had David Raya in goal, Tomiyasu and Saliba with the centre backs.
Yep.
Zinchenko and Timber with the fullbacks.
Yeah.
The middle was Rice, Odegaard, and Smith Rowe. And up front was Havertz, Martinelli on the right, and Jesus on the left.
Yep.
It's so strange because, and then someone else came on.
Vieira came on, didn't he?
No, Vieira never gone. Vieira never gone. But when you look at it, when you're looking for a goal, and that was the team, you were just like, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
What? And Timber's cameo was very good. It reminded us how good that guy actually is.
Terrifying.
Yeah, he is terrifying. I look forward to having a full season with him. I hope, touch wood.
Yeah.
But no, I thought the cameo. We scored the late goal. It is a handball, I think. I've got two minds of thoughts. I don't think you can't not give that as a handball because it so indirectly changes what happens.
Yeah.
Like if his arm isn't there, the ball kind of doesn't deflect directly in his path. But my other side is like what they said in Match Today. They said it's a good decision. It's fine. And the reason being is we were talking about this all year. We don't have a black and white of what a handball rule is. But one thing we do know now is if you're touching the ground, it's not a handball. If the ball hits a body part, then your hand, it's not a penalty or anything, or not a handball. The other one is and we felt with this last year, no one talked about it.
Yeah.
We went to West Ham and drew 2-2. Declan Rice handballs the ball clearly and then passes it to Antonio and scores.
Yeah.
They VAR check it, and their reasoning was Declan Rice definitely handballs the ball, but he isn't the one who scores the goal. So therefore, rules wise, we can't overturn the goal. If he had ran on and scored it himself, we'd overturn the goal. And we went, what? But then that's the decision they've given since. So what happened here was the ref didn't see the handball. He then passes it to Odegaard. He passes it to Havertz. Havertz scores.
Yeah.
They check it. They check for the handball, which, by the way, they shouldn't do, because
in their ruling,
the ruling is they shouldn't even be checking if it is a handball. But the ref ends up not giving it. I don't know if the ref didn't give it because he's saying, well, he didn't score.
Yeah.
And I didn't see it in real time.
Maybe the VAR guys missed that ruling a little bit or something.
Yeah, or he believes it didn't because it's against his body. You can't really do anything about it.
And it's sleeve. I don't know what their ruling is on sleeve.
Well, at the start of the season, it was if it moves your sleeve, it's not a handball.
And it definitely does come off the sleeve. So
and his body, it's tight to his body and its sleeve.
Yeah.
So I'm in two thoughts. When I looked at it, I went, oh, you have to give that as a handball. But when you look at the letter of the law and what it's been given in the last 2 years, it's not. So I don't know, is the genuine answer.
The relief, though, on that goal, even though it really meant...
It just made the day nicer, didn't it?
Because as long as we did our job on the day, that was the main thing. As long as we left it all out there, didn't leave anything to doubt from our end, that was all I was concerned about. So the relief on winning that game, regardless of whether or not we were winning the league at that point, because we pretty much were sure we weren't. I've never celebrated a goal that had less consequences other than we just won our game.
Yeah.
Like, we did our job, we did our bit, and it left for a nice atmosphere to celebrate in the stadium with the fans. An amazing season.
Yeah, and I've never seen a last-minute winner be so... Like, Havertz was crying, essentially, when he put the ball in there, which was very odd. And I don't know if that was the realization of, they've won 3-1. Yeah, we've won, but this goal would have meant... Imagine that was 2-2 and they'd finished 2-2 and then that goal went in.
Yeah.
And then that VAR check happened.
Yeah.
Because someone said this as well, like, if this was 3 months ago, because Deitch basically alluded to this, he was like, if that goal happened 3 months ago, that goal's disallowed. He said you did it because it was the excitement at the end of the league. And that is a worry if that is the case, because it should be impartial.
Yeah.
So the last day was an interesting one. It was an up and down day, but it ended a very good season. That's the thing I wanted to get to. This is our first season podcasting.
Yeah, we picked a good one.
Yeah, and it would have been lovely to have a 100% record of winning the league. But again, you can go back to episode 1, Joe, Simon, and myself, and we talked about it. We were saying top 4 and maybe a cup run, maybe a Champions League quarterfinal or a semi-final, maybe a Carabao Cup winner. Something plus a top 4 would be an elite season. We've ended up nearly winning the league on the last day of the season and getting to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. It's more than I could have hoped for.
Yeah.
Again, people are going to say we missed out. And yeah, of course. I mean, we're up against Man City. Who else is beating them?
And only one team can win. So at least if you're doing your bit, that's all that matters.
And again, when you look across the stats, most XG created in the league this year, Arsenal. The least XG conceded, Arsenal. Least goals conceded, Arsenal. Most goals scored, Arsenal. Most wins this year in Arsenal history. We couldn't have done more other than being up against a robot.
We were near perfect. Now we have to be perfect.
That's the scary part. And again, we're going to, over the next 6, 7, 8 weeks of Euros and transfers, we'll get deep into the transfers. There's already some talks. But for now, we need to finish this season. And these are the couple of things I wanted to do with you. Is I wanted your player of the season, your moment of the season, and rate the season out of 10.
Okay.
And I've seen a lot of people rating this season 9 out of 10 because we didn't win the league. And I don't believe you can give a 10 if you don't bring in a Premier League or a Champions League, maybe. But I'm not going to give it a 9. I'm going to give it a 9.5.
Okay.
And I'm going to say the 0.5 because, I mean, if we would just come second like last year, that's a 9, isn't it? Because, you bottled it, let's say, at the end. You were top of a lot of the season, but you didn't win the league. You weren't good enough. It's a 9. This year, I think we were good enough. We were just up against an impossible task. Because, I mean, this year, we won 16, drew 1, lost 1.
Yeah.
Man City won 17, drew 1, lost none. That's not normal.
No.
And again, when you look at the points tally, I mean, that of the 13 league titles that Ferguson won, our points tally this year would have beaten 7 of them. That was the normal standard. The standard now is you have to get 90 points. That's not normal.
No.
You know, it's not normal to get 90+ points. And Liverpool did it twice without winning a league, I believe. Like Joe said, you have to be perfect. But so I can't give it a 10, but I don't want to give it a 9 because I think that would be doing an injustice to how good we broke every Arsenal record there is.
Yeah.
You know, if we won the league, it's a 10.10. It's a 10.5.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give it 9.5. What are you thinking?
I'm going to give it a 9.9.
Okay, so that is just that 0.1.
Yeah, so I think it was all perfect. I enjoyed this season more than I've enjoyed any season in my life. And I mean, we were alive for the Invincible season. So, but again, age and knowing more, I've not enjoyed a season more. Like coming here for pretty much every game, watching every game.
We're also podcasting on it, so we're talking about it even more, which
we're so
gets you more excited.
I'd say 9.9 just because that little 0.1 is the league, is winning the league.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's near perfect a season.
Again, if we won the quadruple, that's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
So I want to leave a little room.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think you can have different types of 10s.
Yeah.
Because I don't think a normal fan should be like, oh, we're going to win the quadruple.
Yeah.
That's a City thing.
That's not a normal thing.
That's not a normal thing. It's not done. A treble's been done once before City did.
Normally you focus on one thing.
Yeah. Like if we won the Premier League, I'd be like, that's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
If we won the FA Cup and came top 4 next year, like let's say right now, next year we can fast forward and we came second again.
Yeah.
We won the FA Cup. And we got to a quarterfinals of Champions League.
Yep.
I would see that as a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Because there was a trophy.
Yeah.
Not to forget, we won a Community Shield this year. We did win a trophy.
Yeah.
I know that's going to trigger everyone.
Yeah.
But we won a trophy. And if City win next week, we have the chance to win it again.
I think just all of it.
I want Arteta to just collect these because it's not normal to have this many Community Shields. If Arteta wins this one,
yeah, he knows how to get it done.
He'd have 3 Community Shields.
That one Wembley game, he knows how to get it done.
Klopp put out all his trophies this week when he left. He had 1 Community Shield after all these FA Cup wins, all these like Premier Leagues. I say all these, one of each. Where he ended up in the Community Shield. He had 1. Arteta's just got 3 randomly.
It does count. It counts. People say it's...
Well, when he leaves, like Klopp, and they lay them all out, they'll lay out the Community Shields.
Absolutely. It's still a trophy. It's the first game of the season. You're usually up against someone who's either won the league or won the FA Cup.
If the Community Shield was the last day of the season, people would use it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if, let's say it's the FA Cup this week, then the Champions League, and then the week after that, they do a Community Shield, which is the winner of the FA Cup and the winner of the Premier League, or the first and second teams, or whatever it is that year. People would see that as like the end of the year. That's the cool trophy. It's the fact that it's the new players, half the players are still at the Euros.
It's no different to the Club World Cup. Like the one-off game where 2 teams...
Club World Cup feels like it's really hard to get to, though, because you have to win a Champions League, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, the Community Shield is usually the best 2 teams in England fight it out for a trophy.
Yeah.
So it's no different. Like, you've earned the right to be there. And
I like the idea that Ten Hag wins the FA Cup, then wins the Community Shield. Therefore, he's won an FA Cup, a Carabao Cup, and a Community Shield, and everyone's like, sack him.
Yeah, he's done all right.
He's done all right, actually.
Yeah, I think 9.9. I think the season as a whole was so much fun to watch. We took it all the way down to the wire. The atmosphere has changed at the Emirates. So as a whole, the club is in a ridiculous place. I've never seen Arsenal in this position.
The cool thing is as well, being London team as well, we can attract big players this year if we want. Again, we're not going to blow the bank with wages like other teams would, because we do have I think Carragher talked about it this week. He was like, what Arsenal done is really impressive. Everyone's saying, oh, they spent 750 million under Arteta, which is like the 3rd highest in modern City.
Yeah. And
it's like, yeah, but agent fees, nothing. Wages are nothing compared to even the likes of Liverpool and Tottenham. So it is still impressive. Yeah. It's still really good. What is your moment of the season?
I've been thinking about this while we've been talking, because I can't pinpoint a specific moment that stands out other than obviously the freshest one, which is making sure we won that game on the last day, just so we could hold our hands up and say we did everything we could. It's more off the pitch, my moment of the season.
Okay.
It's signing Declan Rice.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like, for me, that is...
The dopamine rush of them doing the exclusive where we bought him. That was a fun summer.
And it's not a player, like we've said.
I didn't think we'd ever end up having him.
As an Arsenal fan, we had so many seasons where we didn't expect to have certain players, and then we signed the likes of. I remember Ozil. I took a screenshot of the Sky News when they said breaking news: Mesut Ozil has joined Arsenal.
Yeah, it just seems surreal, doesn't it?
I was like, we don't do that. That's not something Arsenal does. Same with Sanchez, did the same thing. But Declan Rice, for me, is the biggest signing we've ever made.
Yeah, well, it is physically the biggest.
So that moment, like showing him with Arteta and Edu looking over the pitch in their suits.
It was ideal, wasn't it?
That I mean, he has changed everything about our team. He is the heartbeat of our team now.
Yeah.
So that for me, that is the moment of the
He eats
season.
pancakes before the game. Do you know that?
Oh, does he? I bet.
He said he eats 3 before the game, and he said sometimes you have 3 for breakfast, 3 before the game.
Oh, have more. Just eat more pancakes. I don't care.
Are you going to back that up with your player of the season being Declan Rice?
So, I was going to say that, but I want to spread it out a little bit.
If you've got someone else, then I'll give you my moment.
Okay.
So my moment of the season is actually Declan Rice's winner against Man United at the Emirates. Straight after the Garnacho mystery goal.
Yeah.
That feeling was so much fun. It was still so early in the season, so you just don't know what was going to come of it all.
Yeah.
But it was so good to see a player that just come in for such a high fee, who had already started well.
Yeah.
But again, if you remember he played the Community Shield, and everyone went, he doesn't fit in that. Yeah. Like, he didn't look right, did he? Do you remember? We were like, he's too safe. Yeah. And he's become better.
Oh yeah.
As the season's gone on, and I think he's learned a lot. Similar to Havertz. You remember, you throw back to Bournemouth away, we give Havertz a penalty to try and get his confidence up.
Yeah.
He ends second highest goal scorer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we were going from trying to give this guy a goal. So the Chelsea had lingered in him, where we were giving him a goal just to 60 million down the drain started that day.
Yeah.
Because it was a gag. It was kind of like, yeah, he is really not actually very good.
Yeah.
We have to give him a penalty. To fast forward, he's the run-in, that guy became clutch. Yeah. Him and Trossard were our guys. Yeah. They did not disappear in that run-in. And Havertz particularly dragged us.
Yeah.
Even when we couldn't get goals, he would find the goal. He'd find the assist.
He's a natural winner.
Yeah, the fact that he was crying after that, like, he really believed in. I tell you, I really had them believing.
Yeah.
That they might win that league.
Yeah, it was all believing.
Yeah. And so yeah, when you fast forward that, you know, with the signings, but for me, the moment is either the Declan Rice winner or the Porto penalty shootout.
Oh yeah,
because that was you know, this year we had to expel a lot of demons, beating Big Six teams. We didn't lose to a Big Six team this year, including the Community Shield.
Yeah.
We beat City, which is something we can't do. We didn't get smashed at Anfield, which we don't do. We didn't get smashed at the Etihad, which we don't do. We won at Old Trafford.
Smashed Chelsea.
We smashed Chelsea. There's things that we overcame this year, and one of the biggest one was, in my adult life, I hadn't seen us even win a knockout game.
Yeah.
And we made such hard work at the Porto game.
Yeah.
But I mean, we won it. They got that out of our system, and now we're into the cause.
The progression is real.
And then we went toe-to-toe with Bayern. And again, over the 2 legs, it was fine margins. But I mean, that first leg, we gave away 2 goals, and we missed a lot of chances.
And didn't get a penalty.
And when you look at the way it went, there was a real chance there for Arsenal. But the fact that we beat Porto, that feeling of like, thank God, and David Raya. And again, we're mentioning all these signings that have come good that at the start of the season, I think everyone agreed on Declan Rice, but not everyone agreed on Havertz. Not everyone agreed on Raya.
Yeah.
They all came good. So my moment of the season is probably the Declan Rice goal against Man United.
Yeah.
But my player of the season, what is yours?
So we're in a very, I don't know what the word is, elite position where we can run down a list of potential player of the seasons, which is rare. Like normally there's a one standout. So you got the likes of like David Raya, who got the Golden Glove. He was unreal. Declan Rice, clearly hands down first ballot player of the year. But I'm tossing it up between 2 others.
Okay.
And it's Saliba.
Yep.
And Havertz.
Like it.
I'm leaning towards, obviously, Saliba was unreal this season. He doesn't put a foot wrong. I don't think I've seen him put a foot wrong this season, which is ridiculous to say. But I'm going to give it to Kai Havertz. Just because of how, like you say, how clutch he was. He came into this team. He had a lot of pressure on him. A lot of people were doubting him. A lot of people throughout the season, throughout the early stages of the season, a lot of people were doubting what he was going to bring to the team.
Yeah.
But what he does is, we've said it before, is sometimes so thankless. Like, he does get really important goals, and he is a natural born winner. But the job he does do, he ties that team together so nicely in a way that Rice does the same.
Yeah.
But Havertz does it in a completely different way. In a lot of games, he doesn't necessarily show up in a way for people to kind of highlight his performance. But it's the little things he does.
Yeah.
It's the little, there's runs he makes. He chases balls down. He holds the ball up and plays it off. Very simple stuff. But if you're doing it at that level, it makes such a difference. So I'm leaning towards Kai Havertz as my player of the season, albeit Saliba very close in there as well as Declan Rice.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I'm going to give it to Kai Havertz. I think he deserves it.
So your player of the season is Kai Havertz.
Yep.
And I've just gone live on TikTok every single week, 10 a.m. GMT. We started the podcast a little early this week, so we're joining TikTok at 10 as usual. But we're in the second half of the podcast. So if you're just joining us, Lewis already in here with Unlucky Boys, you ran us close. Yes, we did.
Yeah,
it was a tight one. It was a tight one. It was a good fight.
I've missed you guys. It's been very quiet. Like, we've done this first part of the podcast.
Yeah, without
it was just us talking, and it weirdly, even though they're not here with us, it feels like it was just the two of us sat in a room talking about stuff.
It's rare, yeah. And also, I usually say outlandish stuff that the chat kind of jump on me for.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to do that, so I've just been shouting into the mic like as if it's 100% fact. My player of the season for Arsenal, I think I'm gonna have to go Odegaard. I think I've just enjoyed watching him all season.
Yeah.
I think he was
again so many players.
I think naturally you look at Havertz, Odegaard, Saka. By the way, was 30 goals and assists combined, or 28. That's a good season. He felt very much like he wasn't in the season as much as he used to be. But
to have that many players that you can list as potential players, normally it's one. Normally there's a standout. Yeah. We've listed 5 or 6 different names that could be player of the season. And that, for a whole team, if you can name over half the team as players of the season, you're on to a winner.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing is, you know, like I said, Havertz, Odegaard, Saka, Rice, I think Ben White even. Yeah. Or any of the back four, really.
Everyone did their bit.
Yeah, with Raya. Maybe not the left back because it's been so hit or miss all season.
Yeah.
But it's just been one of those years where it's hard to pick exactly one. But I'm going to go Odegaard with the captain as the best player of the year for Arsenal. So I'm going to go to a little break from SEATGEEK now. So SEATGEEK is our sponsor. I hope you enjoy this little advert.
Shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring. We recently became a brand ambassador for them. SeatGeek is a ticket app that takes confusion out of buying tickets. They have a 0 to 10 score on each ticket to know if you're getting a good or bad deal. Green is good, red is bad. Plus, our listeners get $20 off their first ticket purchase with our code TBAWRESTLING. Click the link in the description to download the app. Remember code TBAWRESTLING. Thanks again to SeatGeek.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the podcast. That was SeatGeek, and we are now got the second half of the show, and we've got TikTok live ready for the second half of the show. So
let's go.
What we can do is involve more people in this, because the second half is firstly to announce the prediction league winners.
Oh,
so it was all to play for. I think Joe was ahead by about 8. I think it was something like that. I don't know exactly the numbers, but Joe was in it to win it. Joe was very much the leader for the second half of the season. Simon was right up behind. This week, Simon got 7 points. I got 7 points. You got 6 points.
Oh my God.
Which ends in third place, Simon with 162.
Yep.
I got 167. And you got 170. So you won by 3. You were 8 ahead of Simon. It was actually a lot closer than what we expected.
Oh my God, we took it down to the wire. We took it down to the last day. That's how we do it.
Yeah. Sorry, I just saw in the chat just as because for whatever reason I somehow paused the chat. Rice is excellent, but the claims that he's better than Rodri are outrageous. I think in time he could be Rodri's level, but I mean Rodri is a late 20s, Champions League winner 4 times in a row. A lot of experience. So yeah, I think one day maybe, but yeah, not quite yet.
No,
I mean, Rodri doesn't lose matches. It's hard. That's hard to do.
That's impossible.
But yeah, so congratulations, Joe. You win nothing. And while we're doing that, what I would like to do is, oh my God, I should be not touching this. What have I done? What was that?
I like it when the chat's big like that. I can read it.
Do you want to leave it that big?
Yeah, because I can see what they're saying. Because they're going to be involved in this next bit. Ah, wow. I've got to retain that prediction league next season. Are we doing a prediction league for Euros?
I think we might do a prediction, like just one big prediction.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I paused the live. That's the problem.
I think we're still there.
We still there?
We're still there.
Cool.
Someone say something.
The podcast has got particularly worse since I've started the live. I'll say that. And we will get to the questions about White because we're going to talk about the England squad shortly.
Yeah.
If you can bear with us, because basically we've got to end this podcast and then we're going to stay around the live for like how we always do.
Goodness.
So we'll get to all the questions shortly. The other thing we did, this was the league table in December.
Okay.
This isn't the league table, but this is what we predicted it was going to end.
Okay.
In December. We had Villa in 8th.
Okay.
We had Man United in 7th. We had Spurs in 6th.
Okay.
Chelsea in 5th.
All right.
Newcastle 4th. Liverpool 3rd. Arsenal 2nd. Man City 1st. So I can tell you that we went with Villa 8th, which was actually Man United. We went for Man United 7th, which is actually Newcastle. Spurs 6th, but it's actually Chelsea. Chelsea 5th, actually Spurs. So we got those two wrong way around. Yeah. Man United the wrong way around. And then Newcastle a couple of spaces out for Villa. Villa we got very wrong.
So we kind of knew.
And then top 3 was spot on.
Yeah, we kind of knew what teams were going to be in and around it, though. Like, we kind of got an idea.
Well, to give you an idea, at that point, Villa were like 3rd.
Yeah.
And we chose 8th. We thought they would really drop off. Which, by the way, they were awful the last 6 games.
Yeah.
They just hung in there. Man United, we got there at that point, they were about 5th. Yeah. And we thought they were going to drop, and they've dropped. We just didn't think they would drop as far as 8th. We went 7th.
Yeah.
Spurs and Chelsea pretty much spot on, just wrong way around. But again, Chelsea were like bottom half at this point.
Chelsea finished strong.
But we always called them potential FC, and they've lost their manager now, which we could talk about in a sec. Newcastle, we got that wrong. Quite wrong, I think. Yeah. 3 or 4 places wrong. Top 3, we got spot on. At that point, I think Liverpool were top, Arsenal were 2nd, Man City were 3rd.
Oh, wow.
So it did move around. Like, it wasn't just guaranteed, you know?
Yeah, a lot happened since December.
Yeah. The last bit I wanted to do is just a little kind of, we just did our Arsenal player of the season, moment of the season, talked about the last day, the 115 charges, these things. Just to finish it, just to talk about is the Premier League getting a bit too predictable? Obviously, Man City winning it, but again, you can't change these things. These are things just happen in sport. But the 3 relegated teams going back down.
Yeah.
Other than Luton, I was really disappointed with Burnley and Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Luton, I thought were really unlucky. But realistically, you take away the charges from Everton and Forest, it wasn't that tight.
No.
Even though it did technically come down to the last day of the season. Do you think next year it's going to be better? Because obviously we've got Ipswich, we've got Leicester, and we've got Leeds or Southampton. Do you think any of those 3 teams are going to stay about?
I think those 3 teams have potential to stick around more than the 3 teams we had this year.
Okay.
I think they're 3 strong. I think Ipswich could be tough. Like, I think Ipswich are the only team in there I can see definitely dropping back down.
Yeah.
I'd say Leeds and... Is it Leeds or Southampton? And who's the other one?
It's Ipswich, Leicester.
Leicester
won the league.
Leicester could stick around. Leicester know what they're doing. Leicester have been there before. They know how to work the Premier League.
The thing with Ipswich is there's so much talk at the minute with their manager.
Yeah.
That's the worry. I think if they lose their manager and come up, I think they could be the team that are rock bottom.
That'd be a shame because if their manager doesn't stick around to just see what they're capable of in the Premier League, you've done the work. Just get in there and see what it's like. Don't move yet. Yeah. I know money talks, but
yeah, I think Leicester do have the ability to stay up. There's a couple of teams I'm looking at, like Forest. Can they hang on another season?
Yeah.
I think Everton will be absolutely fine. Brentford, they're going to lose Tony. Again, he didn't play that much at the end.
Yeah.
There's talk of Thomas Frank wanting the Bayern job.
Okay.
There's talk of Mbeumo leaving. You then look at them and think, could this be the year they finally go?
Yeah.
Brighton without De Zerbi. They have been really poor. There's more options, I think, to go down next year. Whereas this year it did feel like the 3 relegated teams.
I'd be very hopeful if I was the 3 teams coming up, looking at the state of a couple Premier League teams.
I think if Saints can pull off the win, in the playoffs, then I really think they have a shot at staying up. Thank you so much for the rose ×4. Ooh, goodness me, on TikTok Live. Thank you so much. So with the top 4, did you think the top 4 was pretty standard? The top 3, obviously. But are you disappointed in any teams? Do you think Villa?
I'm very happy for Villa, albeit Villa have got they're a little bit like enemies now. Like
with Emery, yeah.
With Emery, Martinez is in there. They cause us problems. But I'm very happy for Villa. I'm happy for Villa fans that they've actually, because I think they're a team with history and a lot of pride in their team. Like I said to someone this week, someone mentioned that someone they knew was a Villa fan, and I said, "Oh, well, if someone's a Villa fan, they're definitely a Villa fan. Like they've been a Villa fan this whole time. Yeah. That's not a team that they've got a deep rooted fandom and pride. So I'm very happy for Villa to get what they got. So yeah, I'm proud of them.
I think they deserved it. I think teams like Tottenham, especially what they did, considering what happened to Villa on the last day, they really did miss out on that top four.
Yeah. They screwed themselves.
Newcastle, I think the injuries they had and the Champions League they were playing in at the start.
Yeah.
And I mean, group of death, I mean, the semi-final, well, the final is their group.
Yeah.
Well, they were close. It was close, wasn't it?
Nearly.
The semi-final was their group.
Yeah.
PSG and Dortmund. So they had a horrible go of it. But I mean, with the injuries, they did well to end how they did.
Yeah.
And I think they got Conference League as well. So Chelsea did so well with their manager Pochettino, who is now gone.
That's wild. They were really putting it together. I was really hopeful for them next season.
Do you know what? I was thinking about next season. I was thinking Man City are going to be the champs. Obviously, we're going to push them again, I would have thought.
Yeah.
Liverpool with Arne Slot, we don't know what's going to happen.
I think
Man United, if they stick with Ten Hag, I don't know.
Yeah.
If they get a new manager, I still don't know. I think you can't just get a new manager and instantly challenge. I don't think it takes a bit of
their Man United's problems are deeper than just the manager.
Yeah, and when I look across it, I don't think Ange necessarily at Spurs.
No.
I don't think Newcastle is going to challenge yet. Villa, there's a chance, but I don't know. I think they could end up losing Watkins or Douglas Luiz.
And they're going to have to play a lot more games.
And again, like Newcastle this year with the Champions League, are they going to get more injuries in the Champions League, things like that? So when you look at who's going to challenge City, I think it's Arsenal. And then I don't know.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting because I started to believe this week Chelsea. Because Poch had figured it out with the players and the talent they have.
Yeah.
Could they? They're erratic, but they could be in and around it, similar to Liverpool this year. But now they've sacked their manager, so back to square one with them.
I'd be livid as a Chelsea fan if that happened. That's wild.
Yeah, and an interesting question on TikTok here from Adam was who had the better season, Arsenal or Liverpool? It's about even because obviously you won a Carabao Cup over in Liverpool, and with the injuries, the fact that they even got top three was impressive.
Yeah,
I think we're not talking about the bottle job they did enough. They were 8 points clear with 9 games to go, and they ended 9 points
what
shy
we did last season.
It was worse than what Arsenal did last year. But again,
we were called bottle jobs.
Yeah, and I know people talk about the injuries. Arsenal had a lot of injuries last year, but again, with Arsenal, we don't talk about these things. We just like to call them bottle jobs.
Yeah.
So I think we're not talking enough about that state of that. But I mean, I also believe Liverpool had a great season because they did have a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
But I also thought Arsenal had a great season last year. So it's so tough.
Yeah.
It is tough. I think Liverpool overachieved though, so not really bottling.
I think,
but again,
last season.
I'm basing this off of what Arsenal have been called.
Yeah.
And I mean, people expected us to come top 6 last year. We ended up coming second. And we had a load of injuries at the end of the season.
And the only talk was that we blew it.
And the talk was we just bottled it.
Yeah.
And we were closer to City the whole time than Liverpool were this year.
Yeah.
And ended up 4 points behind them at the end.
Yeah.
We were called bottlers. So I don't know. But
I
don't think Liverpool bottled it, but I'm basing it on what Arsenal were called. If Arsenal aren't called bottlers, I don't think either are.
No, I don't.
And Adam said it's impossible to compete with City. It really is.
It is.
And we've talked about it already in this podcast, but I mean, the best manager, the best players, highest wage bill, the highest agent fees, 115 charges of sports washing. How do you compete with that?
You can't. No.
And Klopp is literally so tired.
Yeah,
he's left.
They've made Klopp, they made Klopp leave.
They've made Klopp leave football.
None of us are happy about that.
So before the end of the podcast, I just wanted to get to the last 2 bits, which was the player of the season.
Okay.
And the moment. So the player of the season is Phil Foden.
Yeah.
But who would you put down as the player of the season for you?
I would have to say Rodri.
He's just unbeatable, that guy.
He literally doesn't lose. Like you can't give player of the season to anyone other than a player that when he plays, you don't lose. That's a signing. If you could sign a player where they tell you if you have this player in your team, you won't lose. That's a player of the season. You can't compete with that. I mean, there's a lot of options. Like we said, there's 5 or 6 Arsenal players of the season. So that tells you how good the standards are now. And there's so many players of the season. Every team probably has one. But I'd have to give it Rodri. Just he's unbeaten as a player. Like
I'm going to get back to Rodri because I'm agitated by that guy.
yeah.
But Adam has said what mine is, which is Cole Palmer.
Yeah,
he's carried a terrible Chelsea team, says Adam. And I'd agree. I think I've been so impressed with Cole Palmer. I think he's been an absolute find, even though he's in plain sight.
Oh, we knew he was good when
we knew he was good, but we didn't. I don't think. I thought he was good in a way that, in all candidness, I thought he's good in the way that we know that Eddie's a good forward.
Yeah.
And I know he doesn't play in the same position, but I really saw him as a centre forward that's playing left wing. And I mean, he's a number 10 at Chelsea, who scores unbelievable amount of goals. And maybe he is a number 9, really. Yeah. I don't know. But the style and stuff, he's a really good player to watch.
Yeah.
And because it took me so by surprise how good he is, I really think I would go with him.
Yeah.
Adam says to get its numbers in a breakthrough season as a mid-table team is crazy. Mad. It's honestly mad what he did, and he dragged Chelsea up that league by the end. He's essentially got him European football.
Yeah.
And Ben has said, "Hi, Gunner Bros. Hope you're well." Gunner Bros. Maybe that's the name of the pod.
Gunner Bros.
Because the only reason I'm questioning the name of the pod is Gunners Are Us. Yeah. It's hard to explain to someone.
Kind of boxes it in as well.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't mind. I'm in two thoughts, and I know this is for an off the podcast conversation.
Because to be fair, we get a lot of fans on TikTok that aren't Arsenal fans,
but they're here to be annoyed at us.
Is that the fun of it, though?
That's what I mean. Is I don't know if I want to go away from it being an Arsenal podcast, even though if you listen to it, it'd be a cool tag team name as well.
Maybe a name change.
Very good. I think we did have a last chat. Every week I have this conversation, Ben. I do apologize. But I was thinking of calling it Positively Arsenal.
Yeah.
But Gunner Bros is also fun.
Yeah.
It's just because when you say Gunners Are Us, people write it Gunners and then ARE, us. Yeah. And then when you jam it all together, it looks like a word.
Yeah.
So when you're searching terms, it doesn't come up as much as if you had Arsenal in it or something. But yeah, I don't know. My player is Cole Palmer. Yours is Rodri.
Yep.
The moment of the season. We've had some, I was watching the end of match of the day where they kind of run down the whole season. It always makes me a little bit emotional.
Yeah.
Because in England, football is life a little bit, isn't it? And as your year goes on, the opening day and the flags are flying and the sun's out, your new signings, new kits, setting the tone for your season. Then you get into those months where you're playing Stoke, but you know what I mean? The idea of it's raining, you're playing Leicester and you're trying to nick away at points and Strictly Come Dancing's on and Halloween's happening, the best time of the year.
Yeah.
And you go through these ebbs and flows, then you come out the other end, the FA Cup comes back, the Champions League knockout rounds, and you get to the last day of the season. It kind of sums up your year.
Yeah.
And you can always remember what you were doing the days in which certain matches happen.
Yeah.
So there's like an emotional factor to it. But seeing some of the things that even happened this year, I mean, Chelsea had 15 managers. Tom Lockyer came back to the pitch after going down with a heart condition.
Yeah.
There were some really lovely moments this year.
It feels like this season was the longest season I've ever seen. It feels like it had so much happening in it that you can't even remember all of it now.
I think my moment of the season, though, has to be Ange confronting a Tottenham fan. So I'm leaving that as that. Ben thinks the same as me, which is not for the Ange thing. I think it was more to do with the how you feel your year.
It's wild.
Near Christmas time, you feel it.
Yeah.
The Young Bucks from Wish from Bruce the Good Boy. I appreciate that. I wish we could move like the Young Bucks. I'll say that.
We'll call it a free kick party.
Free kick party over here. Maybe that's the name of the podcast.
Free kick party.
What I'm thinking is because we're about to blow up, obviously. I don't want to. I want to have the name correct before we blow up big because we're about to go big, guys.
Oh, we're going to be massive.
What's your moment?
I'm going to say
my
moment of the season is the last day.
You really like that last day?
It's the fact that we were in it. It's the fact that we got to enjoy that for what it was while we could. The atmosphere around the Emirates was unreal. And us as a family, we haven't. When was the last time we've never sat down and watched a last day before, as a whole?
Arsenal were in it in the last day in 2000.
But I don't remember much.
No, I don't remember much
so long ago.
And ironically, Tottenham really gave Man United a game that year. It was their treble year. And they really nearly beat them. And it helped us. Which is ironic that in 24 years later, that the social media world gets so much that the players actually not that sure about winning.
Yeah.
which is odd. It's just a different time because back then, no one even questioned that Spurs would try and lose.
Yeah.
And Spurs actively nearly won.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, in my moment of the season, last day of the season.
The atmosphere outside the Emirates is unreal.
I've never seen anything quite like
really enjoyed it.
And I've enjoyed it. It's been incredible. So my moment of the season is the last day of the season, just because that was fun.
And that is it. That is our last podcast of the active season. We started on Nottingham Forest Arsenal preview for the first day of the season. I watched that in the Toby Carvery on my phone because of a wedding.
Yeah.
And we're done.
Wow, what a season.
I can't believe it. We've finished the season. And again, we're not going anywhere.
No, we're still going to be here.
And I put this up on TikTok. You can follow us at Gunners or Us for now. I said thank you for the season, obviously. We're not going anywhere. We're still carrying on with the 2 videos a day.
Oh, yeah.
Interact with us as much as you can. We're trying to get to that 10K followers.
Football doesn't stop.
We're going to become positively Euros, positively transfer market, positively England.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be, but we will continue right through the summer anyway. The podcast might not be as long if there's not as much to, because today we're an hour and 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
We're an hour and 10 minutes. I mean,
well, we had a lot of season to talk about. There's a lot happening. We haven't even covered a lot of stuff that's happened. Either.
But we're going to chug on through the summer, get through all this. But I do want to not rebrand, but I really want to take, our kit, the mics, the Mac, the software, the logo, the name, even the amount of TikToks we do, how often we go live, the subscription part of our TikTok, offering better benefits where we can have conversations, more videos, things like that. I just want to take it up a level. So during the summer, behind the scenes, while we're carrying on with the podcast and the TikTok lives at 10 a.m. GMT on a Wednesday, I'm going to try and take us up a level.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to talk about is the England squad.
Okay.
I think on the pod, we're going to go deeper into this when he cuts it down to the 26, because it's very hard to gauge what that squad is until he gets rid of 6. Because at the minute, I think, you missed out on Solanke. He's gone Tony over Solanke, which I don't know. Rashford's missed out, which, he hasn't really been playing well.
Yeah.
But Maddison's in there. He hasn't been playing well. So why are we, there's certain players that are getting in and certain players that aren't.
Yeah.
Morgan Gibbs-White's had 2 years of standout football.
Yep.
Doesn't get picked, but Tom Walton has had 2 to 6 weeks worth of good football. And, I don't know. There's certain things like that we'll get to, but it's hard.
Why Ben White doesn't want anything to do with it.
It is, yeah. And I think we'll gauge all this in the next couple of weeks when we see the actual 26. So for now, I think we'll end the podcast, but we're going to continue on TikTok Live. Do I keep saying Instagram Live? I felt like I've been saying Instagram Live.
I think so.
Okay. We're not on Instagram Live. We're on TikTok. We don't have an Instagram. So we're going to carry on TikTok. Hopefully you've enjoyed the season. If you're listening to this on iTunes and Spotify, give us a 5-star review. Let your friends know about it. Download every single podcast. If you're listening to this on podcast and you've got this far, download all 54 episodes because that will look good on my algorithms. I'll feel good about it. And if you're on TikTok, go to iTunes and Spotify and download the podcast, even if you don't listen to it. Just download it. Put on automatic download.
Yeah, our numbers up.
It costs nothing. It makes our numbers look good. So we will see you next week for your first Positively England.
Ooh.
/ if Arsenal have done some transfer business, which I don't think we can because it's not June 1st.
Yeah.
Anyway, got anything to say?
Yeah, I want to say thank you to you.
Oh, thank you, Joe.
I want to say thank you to everyone listening. I want to say thank you to our moment of the season, which was adding the TikTok Live, because having you guys here has been unreal.
Big.
I want to say thank you to Arsenal for an incredible season. I've never enjoyed a season more. Thank you to the Premier League for how good that was. And thank you to football as a whole.
This is it. That's what I was saying. We should say thank you to football.
How much fun are we having?
Exactly. Anyway, goodbye.
Bye. Positively.
Positively goodbye. If I can find the stop.